Welcome to my tarot card reading for February 2018, Gemini, and this is Manu Tarot. Gemini, we have here Iku, Oba, and Babalu. Right next to them, we have the Two of Swords, Venus, Libra. We have the Page of Pentacles, Mercury, Virgo, and right under we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and this Ace of Swords. Okay. Here we have Oti, Obara, Osa. For those that understand what I'm talking about, that's technically the summary for the whole month. Oti, Obara, Osa. And I forgot to mention this in the English, in the Spanish version. There's something here related with Egum that is operating during this month. Okay, so pay your homage, your respects to Egum during this month. We're talking about ancestors, and ancestor could be anyone, not necessarily the ones that died recently. Okay, with that in mind, we have to keep in mind that we have Mercury here, and then we have Oba and Babalu. Babalu may always, in the stories that I have read, he always makes a promise that he cannot keep. Okay? So be careful of making promises that you can't keep. Be careful of anything that you sign that could be important. It could be a house, a lease, it could be you're buying a house, it could be you're buying a car, anything along that line, because the tarot cards are saying is, insinuating is that you won't be able to keep that promise. Okay? So the same thing, if someone is asking you for the signature for a loan or anything like that, be very careful. The person won't be able to keep the promise. You have been warned. Okay? Oba, she received an advice, but it was an ill advice, and everything came up the way the other person wanted. Therefore, during this month, be very careful of advice that you get. It could be well intended, okay? It could be well intended, but the outcome might not be what you expected, you wanted, and the person thought it would be. So be very careful during this month, okay? For example, you give or receive a medication. You give someone a medication that might have adverse effect. It might come out the way you're not intended. So be very careful, okay? The same way, don't accept medication from someone else. Okay, it might have an adverse reaction. Always go to a professional. Okay, that's more or less what I have to say. Contract promises. Oh, because we have these two here, and then we have Virgo Chariot here, plus this one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards upside down. We're technically talking about 80 to 90% of the cards are upside down. I don't count this because I always put them upright. So it's a lot of introversion, a lot of thinking, a lot of brooding, okay? From your side, you might feel a little bit confused. Actually, this is supposed to be like this. You might feel a little bit confused. A little bit confused. I'm sorry if I lost the train. A little bit confused. Okay? But at the same time, we have this one. So there's this energy is not letting you, not the confusion, but all this energy is not letting you move forward. If you know Obara, there's no foundation here. So you just be very careful what you say. If there's evaluations at work, be very careful what you're saying, okay? Nothing is 100% rooted here on this reading. and anything could pass like this. So be very careful. Evaluations, be very careful what you say. It could be used against you at work, at your in your marriage, at work, or any other place that you are, especially if there is legal issues. Very careful what you're saying or what you write. Okay? Facebook, Twitter, very careful. Okay? Be careful what you're saying. It could be used against you. In other words, your tongue could be your worst enemy, or your fingers if you are doing Twitter or Facebook or whatever and you have a rant. Okay, you have been warned. This is warnings and advice for February 2018. Okay, if you read the description below, I'm very clear. What else? And I want to finish with this. I want to finish with Babalu and Iku. Okay, Babalu and Iku. Babalu is related with hospitals. Iku is the angel of death. And Oba lives in the cemetery. With this, I don't have to say a lot. So I'm going to give an advice, and I'm going to the extreme. If you have a situation that you see that is slowly getting worse, don't wait. Go to the doctor. Okay? Don't wait. I'm saying this because you might have a common cold, you can have the flu. Okay? But if there is a complication, you might end up in the hospital, and because this is angel of death, I had to go to the extreme. There might be a death. With this, I'm not saying that everyone that is a Gemini is going to have that experience. The same way that I'm not saying that everyone that you know is going through that experience. I'm just giving you the advice. I'm giving you the warning. Okay? So, if you are diabetic, take care of your feet. Okay? You don't want to end up with a gangrene and then in the hospital. And if the gangrene is not taken proper care of, that might spread. That might create some problems with blood. But be very careful during this month, especially related with health. Okay? Because there might be complications of your disease or a disease that someone that you know might have. Complications that eventually might lead to death. Okay? That's the warning. That's the advice. Okay? Not necessarily means that it's going to happen immediately during this month. It could start this month, and eventually throughout the days, weeks, months, and years, it might happen. In my experience, I had a friend that she had these two reading and these two cards. I don't remember the third one, but these two showed up. That was 2008, 2009. She died in 2015 of cancer. She didn't take care. She didn't want the medications. She didn't want to go through chemo. And she ended up dying. I took her that very same year to someone else, and the person told her exactly the same. The only thing that I didn't say cancer, the other person was more direct than me. And the person eventually died. Okay? I'm just giving you this as an example. Okay? So keep this in mind, and these are my warnings and advice for February 2018. Until the next one.